Yo, welcome to Two Dudes Talk Movies podcast. I'm Cam.
I'm Luke.
And today we are joined with our final guest of the season, a dear friend we met 2 years ago.
Yeah, I'll take that.
We have Jade Smith.
Hi, guys.
Give it up. Jade, what do you do here?
Well, I am a full-time student. I'm a senior here at Eastern. I am, majoring in criminology and sociology, and I'll be graduating in 2 weeks.
Do we have a thingy for that? I think we... Dang. Late now. Wait. Dang. I don't think we have anything. Oh, wait. You're doing what in 2 weeks?
Graduating.
Yeah. Sorry. It's corny, but we gotta put these to use. Yeah, so that sucks. Yeah. I knew she was graduating, so I'm like, you need to get on here before you graduate, before you leave us forever.
Yeah, ASAP.
So yeah, made it happen, Captain. I did realize 2 minutes ago I was using the restroom, and I realized we had an episode, left for a week, come back this week, and then we're done for a month.
Yeah, winter break does that.
I did not. That doesn't normally. We usually have 3 weeks back. We'll do 2 episodes, and then we won't do anything. We might do some on finals, but we only have this episode, and then we have finals, and we don't post during finals week because stuff gets hectic, and people are moving and going places. So that sucks. Hope you guys enjoy Thanksgiving. I loved my yams. We figured out 5 minutes ago that Luke does not like yams.
Not really a fan.
He does not like, and I love a yam, a sweet potato, an orange potato, whatever you call it. I love them, and I learned that he doesn't, so that hurt me.
But my girlfriend made a bone fall off turkey. So
a bone fall off turkey.
Yeah.
What'd she make?
Like a turkey, and the bone just falls right off.
The meat falls off the bone.
I'm tired. I'm not paying attention.
The bone fall off turkey. Oh man! All right. Happy Christmas. It's not Christmas. It's December though. Mm-hmm. And yeah, we'll just hop right into it after 2 minutes of me rambling. But today we're talking about the 1978 film The Wiz, a classic in my eyes. I sent this to Luke 2 days ago. We didn't have opposing opinions, but I think each of us have our own strong opinion on it.
Yeah.
I haven't heard Jade's thoughts yet. I'm looking forward to how this conversation is gonna go. So hop into it. Film stars Diana Ross, Michael Jackson. Say it again. Michael Jackson, Diana Ross, just to say it again. Nipsey Russell, Lena Horne, Mabel King, Richard Pryor. Pretty much it. Ted Ross. No, am I missing someone? Yeah, I'm missing Scarecrow, Tin Man. Who's the Lion? Who am I missing?
Lion is Ted Ross, so I don't think you're missing anybody because that's all the names I have.
One, two.
Yeah,
Okay.
main cast.
Okay, my bad. Yeah, so those are our 4 main characters, and yeah, so pretty much, it's pretty much The Wizard of Oz. Just accepted and interpreted differently depending on your culture. Say it like that. I don't want to say, because I have to give it its flowers without just saying it's a complete ripoff of The Wizard of Oz. But that kind of goes into its statistic and its reception to critics. And I'll just leave it at that for now. We'll get into deeper thoughts later. But let's start off with general thoughts. Ladies first. Jade,
All right.
How are we feeling?
So I'm not gonna lie, The Wiz is a classic.
Very much so.
I grew up watching, of course, like Michael Jackson and Diana Ross. So I came into the experience with, I'll say, an open heart, because I'm not gonna lie, musicals aren't my favorite.
Okay.
But I do really enjoy The Wiz. I think just the color of all of it, it's so, well, okay, I will say that it's a little scary. So
Yeah. There's one part I'm like, oh man, but yeah, keep going.
it's a couple parts. I don't know.
Word.
So you remember in the beginning, the first scene when she first landed in the sand and like the characters were popping off the walls.
Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff's
That
creepy.
was creepy.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll give you that.
Or in the basement like train situation underneath when the walls were coming off the walls. I'm like, what the heck is going on here?
Okay.
But like I love how modern it is, and then like how they tie the Wizard of Oz from the 30s into like a more modern version, digestible for like Black people. I feel like because it's like takes place in Harlem. The scenery is like, I won't call it the ghetto necessarily, but it is kind of like, you
Projects.
know, yeah, the
Like
projects. So I will say that they do modernize it a lot, and I do really like that. And then, of course, if you're gonna have a musical, you have to have Michael Jackson and Diana Ross in there. So it's gonna hit. It's a good movie. I do really like the movie though.
All right. Luke.
Wasn't really the hugest fan, but I give credit where it's due. I feel like I give credit for like mostly the choreography and set design. Like that stuff is always really well executed, I feel like, especially in the choreography. And then like the subway terminal with like all the wall characters, like to get them to all have such unique designs and then move in coordination with each other to like attack the main cast and all that. Because I can't like noticeably see any like eye slots on those like pillars that walk around. So to get them to navigate where they need to go, like that stuff's cool. But I really can't look past it being the Wizard of Oz, but with more symbolism.
Okay.
That's fair.
That is fair. That
fair.
is.
Because like everything about the Wizard of Oz like is still kept there.
Yeah.
Like you can genuinely fast forward through the movie and it's just the plot of the Wizard of Oz with like the fact of how what's her name, Dorothy gets there. Like that part slightly changes because it's a snowstorm in Harlem and not a tornado in Kansas. But you still get like everything that's the same.
Okay.
So
All right.
yeah,
That's fair.
Yeah. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I saw it. This definitely wasn't my first time. But I think I looked at it differently from I don't know, because I watch movies a lot, so I look at them different. Not to sound like a douche, like I look at stuff different than you. But I don't know. I looked at it differently. The lighting was like super good, especially towards the end when they had like the big group of people, the big choreograph scene. I forgot what song it was. Gosh, it was towards the end. There was a bunch of people. It was like really purple and red.
I think I know what you're talking about. It was like before all the costumes like burned off and stuff like that.
Yeah. That part. That was really well done.
Yeah.
I did think that there was too much singing. Too much? It's a little excessive.
Is there such thing as too much singing in a musical though?
Yes. And
Oh,
here's
all
the
right.
thing.
It was a resounding yes.
Yes. Here's the thing. So you get 3 different types of singing. You get chipped in every once in a while. You know, every few songs, like Joker. That's like the average. You get the whole thing is singing, like Les Miserables. I definitely butchered that. I think that's singing the whole time. And then you get The Wiz, which is this weird kind of, you're performing a 4-minute song, and it's not out of place, but like, why are you giving me 4-minute songs? Like, you give me a minute and a half, and you put the full 4-minute on the album, on the CD, but you're singing to me for 4 minutes. And I looked at the Wiz song, the Wiz album, how many tracks there were, and the Wiz, they're the same amount. There's 26 on each, but I think the Wizard of Oz is like 40 something, and it's like $120. Those numbers might be a little off, but this is like a good 20 minutes longer. And I think the Wiz is just too much singing, but they took advantage of who they had. You can't get Diana Ross and Michael Jackson on the same scale, on the same platform, and not like sing the whole time.
Yeah.
Do you think if like the songs on the Wiz being longer but less tracks, are they like combining songs from the Wizard of Oz and like shortening them a little bit?
Wait, say it again.
So like they're on the like Wizard of Oz track list, right? That you said there was like 40 something, whatever.
No.
Or
Wait, sorry, I cut you off. Keep going.
Like they said there was more amount on the Wizard of Oz soundtrack than there was on the Wiz.
They're the same number of tracks, but different lengths.
Okay. I thought you said that the Wizard of Oz had longer, and I thought that they were like combining songs maybe, which gave like that longer runtime.
Let me fact check just to be sure. So you get the Wiz, which is 26. The Wizard of Oz also has 26. Yeah, 26. But this one's 40 minutes. Wizard of Oz is 40 minutes, and the Wiz is an hour 20. So
So they just straight up said go for it.
Let's just keep it going. Which is ironic because a lot of these songs don't even have Michael Jackson in them.
Yeah, like I definitely like a lot of the scenes are like introducing like new characters and like a new like I guess challenge that they have to face.
Yeah.
And it's like I feel like in the Wiz, they'll start off a scene with like maybe a minute or so of like conversation and they'll jump right in the song and then like carry that through. So like, and I think that like I will say that I appreciate if they're gonna give us a lot of songs, they do make them very colorful. It's a lot going on. It's aesthetically pleasing. I like to look at it. But yeah, I won't say it's like a lot of conversation. Of
no,
like what's happening.
It's such a odd mix for me, and I'm glad that they had good visuals with it to make it look like a music video. Because if it was just like Wizard of Oz didn't have that as much, especially because their sets were all hand painted. Mm-hmm. So,
and that might play like part of it on like why I wasn't like. I kind of view it the same as like Wicked's colors, where like the colors are there, but it's a little flat.
I saw your Letterboxd review.
Yeah.
You said great movie, no color grading.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it though.
Like really the colors are there and like you can visibly like make out like orange, purple, yellow, all the different stuff. But none of them really like pop as much. Mm-hmm. But then if you look at like the Wizard of Oz and like they're in the poppy field as like they fall asleep or like walking through Munchkin Land, everything is like really, really bright and in your face. And then this one just doesn't have that as much.
I think you got it.
Well, I was gonna say I feel like that's kind of like what they were going for. Like I feel like the Wizard of Oz, it took place in like I feel like it was supposed to show like a brighter, more vibrant kind of scenery because like even like the difference in between the Munchkins, like the Munchkins in the Wiz were coming off the wall black, like, and then the Munchkins in Wizard of Oz look like Oompa Loompas kind of, you know. So like I think that they were kind of trying to use that to their advantage, maybe like to make those distinct differences without it being a complete contrast from like the first movie.
Yeah, and that's like with the extra symbolism that I mentioned that's added on. That's a factor of it where it takes the plot and symbolism of the Wizard of Oz where like the Scarecrow doesn't have a brain, the Tin Man doesn't have a heart, Lion doesn't have courage. But there's also the aspect of like, say like the African American experience, I guess, in America is the way to phrase that.
Yeah.
And like,
well, I'll let you keep going. My bad.
Yeah. We're like, it's still, I think 70s, right?
Yeah, that it takes place, or when it was made.
When the movie is
78?
released.
Yeah.
78. Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah.
So like, there's little things that like are part of that culture. There's like, in Munchkin Land, that's all kind of redesigned, like you had said earlier at the start of the episode. And then the one that I noticed the most, I think, was the taxi system for like the Yellow Brick Road, where like they discriminated against the main cast and like wouldn't pick them up except for like the two that were broken down about way halfway through, and they were able to steal those and use them. So it kind of factors into that.
Yeah. I want to say one more thing about the color, then I'll go back to the thing. I also think The Wizard of Oz has such a emphasis on color because it was one of the first movies to be made in color, and they had that transition at the beginning. But yeah, I think that's why I think that's why, but it's definitely why The Wiz is so it's a niche category. Like it's in the genre of movies that aren't technically great, but they have a cultural impact, so people can just look past it. Like Friday. Like I know we watched it. Like Friday is not a good. Friday is not a good movie, and personally, I don't like it, but I understand its importance. Like that movie was made like. Not saying all movies have to take months to film.
It was more
like 2 weeks.
It was more vibes than plot.
Yeah, bro. And you got heroes. You got Ice Cube and Chris Tucker, who were like the biggest names at that time. NWA and Michael Jackson's best friend. So Yeah, but anyway, what?
I was just thinking.
It was a
just
heavy
like,
sigh.
I was like, like what I say wrong?
No.
What I do?
No.
But yeah, yeah, I think it's. I don't know. I think it's something for like, I don't know, black kids to look at and be like, oh yeah, I could do that too. I mean, you get so many. I don't know how deep I want to make it. We'll get it on later. So one of the things that I saw when I was looking into it was this failed commercially, which means that it did not make a lot of money and reviewers and critics did not like it. Probably because they just said it's a complete ripoff of The Wizard of Oz. How do we feel about that?
I mean, well, that's a fair take just because, like, especially depending on the audience that's watching it, you see something, you're like, if you don't think that the film is giving its credit due, of course you're going to, like, take that and, like, maybe not be as appreciative of the art that's going into it as opposed to just looking at it from a whole point of view. I guess like The Little Mermaid, like if you can't necessarily see yourself like in that like it's like kind of thing. And then like just thinking about it from like a historical point of view, like even in the times, like 78 wasn't, I'll just say that 78 wasn't too far past like a lot of the things we've just started to overcome. So I can understand like at the time, people not probably receiving it as well either.
Okay.
Critics and things like that.
Yeah.
So, you know, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I can say it's a ripoff of it because it does enough to try and make it its own with like the stylized neighborhoods and like the extra symbolism for a different target audience.
Yeah.
But I would say it's a ripoff of the plot of The Wizard of Oz where everything is the same.
Yeah.
And you get like those little bits of things that are slightly different where like the Scarecrow, for example, like you still end up getting to the point where he's like, oh, well, I'm dumb. I don't have a brain. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I wish I would have thought of just stepping down from the pole and stuff like that. And the only thing that really makes that scene different is the fact that the crows are there, like harassing him a little bit and kind of symbolizing like the Jim Crow laws that were kind of going on.
Yeah.
So I like, to me, I feel like the extra symbolism didn't really do enough to like make the film stand out too much for me because all the plot was still the exact same.
I think if you put too much emphasis on it, then it takes away from like the main thing, which was supposed to be like a family friendly film, which is not taking away from your point. But I think if you do too much, then you lose your main.
Yeah, and I'm glad it wasn't like too in your face with the symbolism, because then I would have had more issue with it. Where it's like you're not focusing on the plot or the characters or the set design. It's just like this has deeper meaning because it does, and then you're moving on. This one's like it has deeper meaning because of the time and like the way things are presented, and the fact that it's just kind of like an additional part to it that's not detracting from it, I would say.
I think it would have turned into like Barbie. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would have turned into, you have, what?
No, I just hadn't seen Barbie.
You ain't seen Barbie?
No.
Barbie's good. I liked it.
Really?
Why?
I don't know. I don't know. I just
What?
You should give it a watch. I thought.
Should I?
Yeah.
That's with Barbie?
I don't know. When
Not
it
mess
came out
with
in theaters, it was, everything was pink. Google was pink. I'm just like, this is too much.
Barbenheimer was a wild time. Yeah. Spent 7.5 hours in that theater.
You went
that
the
day.
same day? Dude,
Same
I
day.
swear, like every other episode, somehow we talk about Oppenheimer and Christopher Nolan.
It's because it's that good. But
Man.
also watch that one if
I
you
was gonna
haven't.
say that.
Have you seen it?
I haven't. I actually wanted to see that though.
Oppenheimer?
You should watch it. Just prepare to sit down for a while. It's
Yeah, I
like
heard
over
it's
3
pretty
hours.
long.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna hold you, bro. I went to the movies 3 times to go see it. I would do it again.
I would too, honestly.
No bull.
And you know, I wish I could have seen it in theaters. It's something about that experience with like the surround sound and everything. I'm just like,
It's
Nolan
so good.
told you where to sit. To.
Oh, it's so good.
Different time.
Anyway.
Yeah. I could do an episode on that. Yeah. So.
can I also just say on the Wiz thing?
No.
No, literally, no. Get out.
Yeah. What's up?
So I just want to say that like I feel like when they came out with the movie, I don't think they were trying so hard. Like, so you were saying how it's people can say like it's like a knockoff of like the Wizard of Oz. Like it's a lot of like similarities, and that's true. It's true. I can't see them using their money to come out with something that they didn't think would have its own set of like impact, if that makes sense. Like, okay, so yeah, they have like, you know, Dorothy and the Lion and you know, all the characters, and then like the whole idea of like all of those things that you were looking for you could find within yourself. I think that all of that does stay true throughout the movie. But like I think that just the message that they were trying to send, like, because like even you were saying like if you go back and look at the movie, it's like it's not the best, but I feel like you can always kind of like take a piece home, like take a piece out of it, you know, like
sure.
just despite how it like, you know, looks. But that's just me though, because I feel like, you know, The Wizard of Oz was a family friendly movie, and I think you do get like a lot of lessons out of that. But I feel like, I don't know, like as a Black person, you get like a different kind of lesson out of that, just because like, especially during a time when people are telling you you can't do this and you can't do that, you can't be this, you can't be that. It's like her as a Black woman experiencing that and then like taking that home with her. I don't know. It kind of just like it hit different to me, even if it like didn't, or even if that wasn't like the goal, you know, like just I guess seeing myself in a situation like that kind of like makes me, I don't want to say like warm and tingly because that just sounds so simple, but it kind of just like it's,
I think it's because I'm glad you like said something, because we've been tiptoeing around it for the last 20 minutes, and I think after you were gonna say that, I was gonna if you weren't gonna go into it, I was probably gonna try to. But I'm glad you said it. Yeah, I think representation is like the big thing that you can take away from it, which is why it's kind of staple in Black culture, because like, especially if I can't fathom it because I'm not a girl, but have a Black woman like lead a whole movie and like take the lead role over Michael Jackson, like who, you know, Michael Jackson's like
Michael Jackson.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, to be a little Black girl and then like see that probably would have did something to me, especially if I understand the importance of like this lady's here, Michael Jackson's here, but they still let her have their lead role. And I don't know, just for like all people in general, Black people in general, not even just kids, but I don't know, just seeing yourself on display, because The Wiz is such a cultural across all people, or not. When I say The Wiz, I'm gonna say The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Wizard of Oz is a staple amongst all people. That's a staple in like cinema on its own. But to have your own people to have their own spin-off of it, and not ironically, but the Wiz, it's too many Wizzes, bro.
No, literally.
But that's what we do, bro. We simplify stuff like the Wiz.
The
That's
Wiz.
Why, that's like fucking
Cool.
The Wiz. You seen the Wiz? Yeah, I seen the Wiz. You seen the Wizard of Oz?
Huh?
Fucking, you know, I've seen the Wizard of Oz, but like, still, you make it cool. I forgot what I was gonna say. Yeah, the Wizard of Oz. The Wiz had like a $25 million budget. Wizard of Oz. The Wiz had $25 million. Wizard of Oz had $2 million. Granted, they're 40 years apart, so inflation and whatever. But still, you're giving these people more money to like produce a film with that is for a target audience. Like, I'm sure they knew what they were doing before they even set foot. But I wish we're talking about that. But I wish so bad that at the end of the movie, when we get the good witch, Glinda, what's her name?
Glinda?
Yeah.
Glinda.
Yeah.
I wish she was like.
Yeah.
I think her part would have had more of an impact if I know she would have had more of an impact if she was a Black woman.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if that's racist. I hope it's not.
You know it's not.
I might cut it out. I might cut it out. But but she would have had more of an impact if she was a Black woman, because you're telling this. Truth be told, I don't know how old Diana Ross is supposed to be. She was told. Oh shit.
She's told.
She was,
Careful now.
right? She was. They were saying she was too. I am yapping. She was told she was too old to play Dorothy when the movie first came out. I don't know how old she was when it came out.
Probably in her 30s, I want to say. She was born like.
She was born 44. This came in
She
78.
was like 34.
34.
Yeah.
People say she's too old, but I think if you have this lady, this wizard, this goddess-esque, whatever, tell her she can just believe in yourself. I don't know, tell them, because it still has that like white savior trope, and it doesn't focus on it, but it just happens.
Yeah.
You got this white witch making her dreams come true to just send her home, even though she has to just give her the knowledge to just click her heels 3 times. Like, it's so small, but I don't know. You would have had, I don't know who else was popping around. What's a black woman popping in the 70s? This is terrible.
Eartha Kitt or
Popular black women in the 70s. Who?
Eartha Kitt. She actually plays the voice of Yzma on Cusco's New Groove.
Sure. Them? Aretha Franklin?
Aretha Franklin, right?
Yeah.
I would have taken Angela Davis.
You know what I mean? Somebody, bro.
Having it all be like still the same plot as The Wizard of Oz, and then that extra symbolism appealing to
What
like,
did you just say?
extra symbolism.
Oh.
What do you think I said?
It's symbolism.
No, my guy.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, but with it being like the same plot as The Wizard of Oz with extra symbolism added onto it, it isn't necessarily a bad thing to appeal to that like target demographic, because multiple films do that. But to me, it kind of raises the question, and are you able to judge a film's greatness based on what it symbolizes or how well it's made?
If I had to choose one?
Yeah. Like, what do you think, just like, would it be more important, or like if you had to choose one of the two?
If I have to choose how it's made or its symbolism?
Yeah, like the way it is, like, are the colors good? Are the acting choices
Oh.
good? Is the design good? That kind of stuff.
I'm going to say no. Well, no. So,
Wait, Jay, it's either or.
Yeah.
well, okay, so sorry, because in my head, no, because in my head I process it. I'm like, I guess I would.
So like
judge
between
it-
the symbolism or like the making?
Yeah, like I'd probably give it more towards the symbolism, because my brain went to the latter, so I said no. So
Oh, okay.
sorry.
Can you explain on that?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm not sure. Like, have you heard of the movie Roots?
Maybe.
Well,
Mad long.
it's a very long movie, but the historic symbolism that it shows, like throughout the transatlantic slave trade centuries ago, I feel like it. If you go back and watch it, it's also a documentary kind of movie from the 70s, and doesn't look great, but the story you learn from it, the things you think about, what you are left with, I think is kind of the whole point of like the film itself. Just like in The Wiz, I think they knew that like it. Well, you know, from the 70s, looking at the film, they're probably like, "This is great," but like, you know, looking back, it's like you probably know that it's not like the best quality, probably just based off of like the budget they had and this and that. But I think it's what you can do with it, like what you can give back to your audience, that I think can make up the difference, or like make or break the film. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, Cam, you go first and then I'll continue.
No, you were going. I feel like I'm a yap again, so you can get it out first.
So like I have to disagree with that. I think I feel like I can't judge solely off of symbolism, because symbolism can only aid the film. I don't think it can ever hurt it, because yeah, you've got like a deeper meaning in something, like that's cool, like that you can have that kind of stuff. Like whenever I reviewed the Batman on Nerdism for Halloween this year, there's a part where it's like 4 or 5 paragraphs of just talking about the Batman's theme from that movie and like what it symbolizes, why it's good. But the rest of that review is still like criticizing the good and bad parts of like the making of it, and that symbolism isn't like carrying the bulk of my opinion for it. And I feel like having different target demographics for it, it doesn't have to be solely symbolism based. It can be more the quality of it. Because like if we're going to use like as an example, like the African American demographic, right? With this movie, like as you guys have said, like that's an important part of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think of the Black Panther movies, which also had like a strong African American lead cast plot, and like that got a huge following from that community online, from what I have seen and observed. And then when the sequel came out after Chadwick had passed, it only grew in size. but there wasn't really as much symbolism as that as there was quality of a movie to make it good.
Say that last part. There was
more quality in the Black Panther films, but it still got that target demographic across. Like the symbolism wasn't the main driving force of that. And I feel like the symbolism was the main driving force of this movie, where it's still the recycled plot of The Wizard of Oz, but they just tack on more symbolism and kind of like, not dangle it in front of your face, but they make it known that there's the symbolism parts of it.
Okay.
Especially with like, I think the Jim Crow law one was really easy to get because there's a bunch of visible crows on screen. But then Emerald City being kind of like a mystical land of opportunity in Oz, having this movie portray that as New York and like Brooklyn and Manhattan and stuff, you can kind of see that symbolism there more obviously.
I think it depends on what the filmmakers are going for, because in this we're going for still the fun aspect, and we're not focusing on how it's going to impact the culture. Mm-hmm. But you have movies like, I feel like I keep saying like, you have movies such as Get Out, which is a good even split, I believe, even though it's not. And plus, to be fair, The Wiz is not the be all of. It's not the staple of black people can do things too. It's up there. Actually, I don't know. I can never put a definitive one for anything, so I'll just discard that.
And that might just be a me thing, where like the way that I view movies, I'm paying more attention to like the quality of it and the aspects that go into the making of it and like what it comprises of with like the acting and the design and stuff. And those are things that like I have said that I like about those. Like the choreography is good, the set design's good, the acting is really good, I think. But then there's stuff that comes back where in that same regard it's not good, where the plot is no different than The Wizard of Oz, and you can genuinely skip to any part of the movie and you skip to the same part of The Wizard of Oz at the same time it happens.
That's fair. Jeez, voice keep cracking.
Got water some there, you can drink some.
Ain't nothing in here, bro. But I think I'll give it to symbolism as well over plot. Not saying plot doesn't matter if there is a tad bit of symbolism, but I think your approach and your intent and your message, that's the main thing, if we're just basing it off of those two right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But with modern day, I don't think you're gonna get a bad technical movie. I mean, especially if you get given the budget. That's why people love Black Panther, because if they just gave them, all right, we got a bunch of black people, give them a crappy budget, they're not gonna mess with it after the fact, then that would happen. But you're going towards multiple audiences for one that you have to upkeep. You got black people and you got Marvel nerds. So I don't know which one would have been more upset had the movie been Cheeks. Probably the Marvel nerds, to be honest.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
I would have shredded it to death if it was bad.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So yeah. I don't know. I think just comparing those two, and as of right now, I'm changing my mind every day. I think symbolism is more important than technical stuff.
I guess like a spin-off of that, if symbolism is not present in a film, does it drag it down for you?
No, because I don't watch movies simply for symbolism.
There we go.
All right.
Yeah.
But are we off to ratings? Do we have anything else you'd like to say, comment on?
I will say probably, and I don't know, like if The Wiz didn't have the symbolism that it did, I probably wouldn't have given it like the same attention, despite like it being like a redo of the original. I probably would have looked at it, Michael Jackson, Diana Ross, cool, but like I probably wouldn't have like really sat down and like took the time to like understand what I was watching or trying to find those like, I guess, connections and parallels to like myself and things like that. So
yeah.
I definitely see like just I guess what they were going for being like the basis of the film. Yeah.
I can kind of agree with that. I think it's nice to have that extra aspect with the symbolism, but when you look past that and judge it as a film from the making standpoint of it and the things that go into it, it really only boils down to a couple of things that were done right with some of the acting, choreography, and set design, and then the music is too long. I didn't really vibe with most of the songs even. Some of the colors are flat, and then the big one for me being plot, like it's all just the same plot as The Wizard of Oz.
Where'd that come from?
What?
Talking for like 50 minutes. Where'd that come from?
Where'd what come from?
Colors flash, story sucks.
I mentioned all those things already.
But when you run it back together like
yeah,
that,
like, damn, I
My bad.
Fair. Colors flat. It's 78. Nobody has good popping color like fucking La La Land.
I mean, The Wizard of Oz did popping colors in the 30s.
It's
so-
But they
popping
had,
colors.
like-
It's popping. It was popping because it was the first one. That's fair.
And?
You got it. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. What are some closing thoughts for you, Cam?
I enjoyed it. I had something to say. I think this movie is super funny because everyone says Michael Jackson's voice is super deep, and to hear him do that, and I never watched his interviews or his award acceptances, but I only hear his music. So to hear him talk normal for a long period of time, and everyone says Michael voice like this deep, So that's what I was thinking. Movie's really good though. Popular in my family. We all like it. I love it. Will I agree that the songs? I don't know if I think the songs are better in this or The Wizard of Oz.
I think The Wizard of Oz had it more memorable. This one was
Yes.
kind of middle of the road for me.
yeah.
Like they weren't bad, but like at the end, I wasn't like on the drive back. Like I need to pull up the soundtrack and listen to Popular right now. Like I wasn't feeling any of that.
Hold on.
I will say, like, even
yeah.
if I hadn't seen the movie, I will always sing Ease On Down the Road. Because I don't know why. That's just
Nice.
a banger.
And my girlfriend said that was her favorite one too. When I was talking with her about it, she said the rendition of "Ease Down the Road" for that was one of her favorites.
Yeah.
I think The Wizard of Oz has more memorable. I'm looking at it now.
Yeah,
Man, I love Over the Rainbow.
Yeah.
Somewhere over the rainbow.
record deal win.
No, literally, Motown.
Man, hit me. But yeah, let's do ratings. Are we done?
I think so.
Yeah.
How we feeling? 1 out of 5.
Out of 5, I'd give it a solid 4.
Yeah.
I got to give it a 2.5.
You're a 2.5.
Yeah, if I can pull back up on my rating scale, I can give the
I was rude. I didn't mean
subpar. 2.5 is subpar.
See, that's we're name calling now. We don't
Yeah.
subpar.
Yeah.
That's almost like saying mediocre. I'm not sure.
Mediocre's below that. That's 2.
I know. I'm saying like that's just not like. I mean, like you're not in the.
No.
For me, I've always said that like plot's the biggest part, and with this plot not doing anything different except like changing part of the beginning, and the rest of it just being the Wizard of Oz, can't vibe with it.
Oh, no, Luke. Me. I think I'm gonna give it a. I'm thinking a 3.5 or a 4. I feel like 3.5 isn't doing it justice, but like when you really step back and look at it, like you are copying like this whole other thing.
Yeah.
But imagine if they would have done the movie like, let's say, 20, 25 years later, like,
So like 2000s.
yeah, early 2000s or something like that. They gave credit where it was due, and they had like all the criticisms you guys had, they tweaked them, they made them better. Like, because like if you think about it, I don't know, I always try to like be gracious when I'm looking at movies, because I always think like they didn't have maybe like all the good AI and green screens and all the good stuff. I try to take these things into consideration because like if the story and the acting and everything else is okay, I feel like everything else is fixable. So I guess I'm just giving the movie a lot of grace.
Okay, that's fair. Let me think. If it was made, no, I like it because it looks crappy, because it gives that play-esque to it. It looks like a play, which
That
I think
is
is
true.
like the main.
All right, I can kind of understand that.
That's what I
Yeah.
meant to say earlier. Yeah, that I think that gives it more character too,
That's
because all the costume, you can like look at this and know that's a costume. Like obviously, every set, every movie is a costume, but you know what I mean.
It doesn't
It
look
gives
too
costume,
clean.
like,
Like you can
yeah.
see the seams.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of things.
So I think I'm gonna give it. I said all that. Dang it. I'm gonna give it a 4. 4. 3.5. 4. We're gonna give it a 4. Feeling a 4 today. 4, 2.5. Yeah. Man, this has been a great conversation. Yeah. Jade, you want to press it? Jade, thank you for coming on. Man, I'm glad we can make this happen for. Well, actually, we just found out Jade is graduating, but she's still staying here. So,
that makes sense.
I definitely thought Jade finessed her way on here. I thought she was leaving. She's staying here. But yeah, thank you for coming on. This has been a great conversation.
Yeah,
it's been
thanks
fun.
for having me, guys.
Yeah, anytime. Yeah, we will not see you till the new year, I guess.
We'll be back with a banger of an episode, I hope. I'm very excited for it.
Yes.
Do we want to name drop it? Well, I don't know if you're thinking the same one I am, but I think
know what you're talking about because you've been talking about this to me since August.
Yeah, I've been talking about this movie all year. I'm hyped for it.
I'll let you name drop if you want.
Yeah, we'll be back. Whatever. I'm assuming first week we get back of classes. I don't know.
You want to do it first week?
First or second week, we'll figure that out. But Nosferatu releases over Christmas, so we will be there. We are seated. We will be watching.
Luke's told me since August I need to be there.
I've been so excited for this one. It looks so good.
It's been Joker and Nosferatu that we've been looking forward to. Me, Joker, him, Nosferatu. I've been looking forward to Joker.
Yeah. But I vocalize it more. Any like movies that I'm hyped for, you know full well about. But the ones you're hyped for, you just casually mention like, bro, I've been looking forward to this, and it's like the day of like a recording, and I'm like, since when? Except for Joker, that one I knew for sure you were.
I don't see him like that. I see him.
I work with you. What are you talking about?
We don't see each other though. Like I see you once a week.
All right.
I see you every Monday.
Yeah,
and that's it. Because he leaves me to be with his girlfriend for some reason.
Not all the time. Sometimes I'm just home playing Fortnite for too long.
You play Fortnite?
I do play Fortnite.
See, she gets it.
When's the last time you played Fortnite?
Probably the day before I left home for Thanksgiving.
I did not expect that. Didn't even know you played the game. But yeah, this has been great. Thank you guys for watching. We will see you next year. That sucks. It's only December 2nd. Hope you guys have a happy holiday. It feels crazy. I'm saying this a month in advance.
Literally Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's.
Right. I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving, good Christmas, good New Year, good MLK Day. If we're there for that, I'm throwing up a gang sign on accident. I'm Cam.
I'm Luke.
I'm Jade.
And thank you for watching. Be safe, be smooth. Have a good one. Bye.
Peace.